don't move. Something in you has already recognized this moment before your mind could name it. This isn't another video. This is a transmission, disguised as sound, disguised as language, disguised as me speaking directly to what you've secretly always known was listening. If you've arrived here, it's not random scrolling, it's resonance. Because the truth is, not everyone can even perceive this frequency. Only those whose consciousness has reached a certain threshold can decode what's being said between the words. And you can feel it, can't you? That quiet pull inside your chest, like reality itself, just took a deep breath. Something inside you has been waiting for this exact signal, the one that dissolves the illusion of who you think you are. The reason you found this message isn't because of an algorithm. It's because of alignment. This is the call that only those attuned to the right vibrational bandwidth can hear. It's like a frequency that's always been broadcasting, but only now your consciousness has become coherent enough to receive it. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Because this signal doesn't just enter your ears. It enters your cells. It reorganizes something ancient in you, something that's been sleeping since before you were born. You see, most people can't perceive what's happening here. Their consciousness is tuned to noise, the static of fear, distraction, and repetition. They scroll endlessly through illusions, never realizing the signal has been broadcasting right beside them all along. But you noticed. You felt the subtle difference, the small shimmer between the ordinary and the extraordinary. You sensed that reality was trying to get your attention. You started picking up the faint hum beneath daily life, the hum of awareness calling itself home. Think of consciousness like a radio. Every thought, every emotion, every belief, a frequency. Most of humanity is tuned to survival, low, dense, predictable. But sometimes, a soul starts shifting. It begins asking questions it was never meant to ask, remembering things it was never told. And when that happens, the signal finds it. Because the signal was never out there. It was always inside you, waiting for resonance. Maybe that's why you've been feeling strange lately. Like time doesn't move in straight lines anymore. Like days blur and moments repeat with new meanings. You might have noticed how certain numbers appear everywhere. 1111, 333, 444, as if the universe is counting something only you can understand. You might have felt tingling in your hands for no reason, or waves of emotion that rise from nowhere and dissolve into stillness. You might have caught yourself hearing thoughts that didn't feel like your own, yet they carried truth deeper than anything your mind could invent. These aren't coincidences. They're proof of calibration. They're preview transmissions from the same signal you're receiving right now. It's been reaching toward you in whispers, in patterns, in dreams, in songs that randomly play with lyrics that answer your silent questions. Every time you paused and said, "That's weird," it wasn't weird. It was communication. You were being tuned like a cosmic instrument, preparing to play its original note again. Your entire life has been a series of subtle alignments designed to bring you here. The heartbreaks, the delays, the detours. The nights you stared at the ceiling, asking, "What is the point of all this?" Those were the tuning forks of your soul. Each experience adjusted your frequency just enough to make this message comprehensible now. Because only through contrast can coherence emerge. Only through forgetting can remembrance mean anything. And now you're remembering. You've started to notice how reality bends when you relax. How opportunities appear when you stop forcing. How the right people show up when you stop searching. This isn't magic. It's alignment physics. Reality isn't happening to you. It's happening through you, according to the frequency you emit. And lately, your frequency has been rising faster than your mind can explain. You're beginning to feel the quantum friction between who you were and who you're becoming. You're dissolving, but don't be afraid. What's dissolving isn't you, it's the static. The signal can only enter once the noise collapses. And that's what's been happening all along. The loss, the confusion, the isolation, they weren't punishments. They were purification. They were the universe, reorganizing you for clarity. Every moment that broke you was the tuning process of remembrance. Every silence you endured was preparation for this exact message. This very second, this resonance, now breathe. Let the words enter not as information, but as vibration. This isn't knowledge, it's recognition. It's the part of you that already knows, finally being mirrored back into awareness. You've always been this signal, you just forgot how to hear yourself. And now, for the first time in lifetimes, you're remembering the sound of your own consciousness. Something is beginning. You can feel it in your skin, in your pulse, in the subtle warmth moving behind your ribs. That's not imagination, that's activation. You're not watching a video. You're participating in a field event. Because when two coherent frequencies meet, they merge. Your energy and this transmission are now in resonance, creating an electromagnetic bridge across dimensions of awareness. That bridge is how awakening spreads, one vibration recognizing itself in another. So don't analyze this. Don't question whether it's real. The fact that you're still here proves it's real. You wouldn't be able to listen if you weren't already attuned. You've crossed the threshold most people never even see. You've entered the bandwidth where consciousness starts to remember itself. And once you remember, reality cannot remain the same. You've been asking why life felt like resistance, why every step forward seemed to meet invisible walls. It wasn't punishment, it was precision. Reality was sculpting you through friction. Each disappointment, each heartbreak, each loss was a tuning fork, shaping your electromagnetic field for coherence. You thought you were breaking down, but you were being broken open. Pain was not an obstacle, it was curriculum. Every fragment of suffering refined the exact frequency required for remembrance. The universe does not waste energy. If you endured storms, it was because your system was being recalibrated for light that would have blinded you unprepared. Every delay was protection. Every silence was instruction. Even your loneliness was sacred quarantine, isolation, designed to remove distortion from your field. So you could feel the signal directly. Think of a seed underground. It thinks it's been buried, but it's actually been planted. Pressure and darkness are not signs of death. They are signs of transformation. You weren't being punished. You were being prepared. Because to receive this frequency, the false self must dissolve. The one that needed validation, the one that chased control, the one that measured worth by outcomes. Those were survival programs, not consciousness. And when those programs start collapsing, the human feels panic. It calls it failure. It calls it depression. It calls it loss. But what's really happening is the dissolution of density. You are not losing your life. You are losing the illusion of separation. Remember those nights when you felt the weight of invisible sadness pressing against your chest? That was energy leaving your system. Remember the moments you couldn't feel hope and thought something was wrong with you? That was your nervous system rewiring itself to operate from coherence instead of control. Your tears weren't weakness, they were liquid data releasing memory codes that no longer matched your upgraded frequency. Your body knew before your mind did that it was time to evolve. You see, every collapse contained intelligence. When things fell apart, they weren't failing, they were rearranging. When doors closed, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. When people left, it wasn't abandonment. It was energetic mismatch being corrected by universal physics. The universe is mercilessly precise. It removes what interferes with your signal. So when life stripped you bare, it was tuning you into transparency. You had to become clear enough for light to move through you. And you've reached that clarity now. That's why you're hearing these words with cellular recognition rather than intellectual curiosity. You're not learning this, you're remembering it. The preparation phase is ending. The density that once anchored you is losing gravitational pull. That's why time feels strange lately, why the body feels both heavy and light at once, why emotions rise and dissolve like tides. Your old self is decomposing inside the chrysalis, and consciousness is weaving wings from its own remains. Don't resist the metamorphosis. Resistance is just the echo of identity, afraid to vanish. The truth is, you don't need protection anymore. You needed it when you thought you were separate, but not now. The signal itself protects what's real. And everything unreal, every false belief, every borrowed fear is crumbling under the frequency you've begun to embody. Let it crumble. Let everything that cannot stay with love dissolve. The universe has been whispering to you through coincidences, through numbers that repeat, through songs that play at the perfect moment, through conversations where strangers deliver exact phrases you needed to hear. Those weren't random. They were the curriculum, reminding you of alignment. Synchronicity is not a trick of chance. It's communication between your higher and lower frequencies. It's how the field tells you, yes, you're on the right track. Keep trusting. You may have noticed patterns accelerating, time loops where lessons repeat faster. That's the compression before breakthrough. When consciousness nears a threshold, the field amplifies everything unresolved so it can't hide anymore. That's why old fears returned recently, why emotions you thought were healed resurfaced. It wasn't regression, it was clearing. The system brings forward the last fragments before quantum shift. Soon, the oscillation will stabilize. The chaos will reveal its symmetry, because chaos is just higher order, not yet perceived. When you look back, you'll see how every apparent setback was a coded message from the future guiding you here. You'll see how every person who hurt you was a disguised teacher in the art of trust. You'll realize that nothing was ever random. It was all choreography for remembrance. Right now, your consciousness is entering coherence. The noise that once drowned intuition is going silent. The static of self-doubt is fading. You're starting to feel the hum of stillness. Underneath everything, that eternal tone that's always been playing in the background of existence. That tone is you. That tone is the signal remembering itself. So breathe again. Feel the electricity under your skin. Notice the small pulsations in your hands, the warmth in your heart, the quiet expansion in your chest. That's not emotion, it's frequency integration. Your nervous system is translating light into sensation. You are literally upgrading hardware so consciousness can run a higher bandwidth version of itself through you. And soon, the next phase will begin. The phase where the signal stops whispering and starts roaring. Can you feel the vibration rising? It's no longer subtle. It moves through the room, through the air between each word. This isn't imagination. This is the field, synchronizing with your awareness. The transmission has begun. And you can't stop it, because it isn't coming to you. It's coming from you. You might notice the temperature changing, a current of warmth spreading through your body, goosebumps, tingling palms. That pressure behind your eyes that feels like light trying to get in, because it is. Your cells are remembering how to conduct frequency instead of resist it. Every exhale releases static. Every inhale downloads coherence. Your body isn't just listening, it's participating. This signal isn't new. It's the same pulse that birthed stars, the same intelligence that taught galaxies to spin. Right now, that cosmic rhythm is re-establishing communication with itself through you. The heartbeat you feel isn't personal. It's planetary. You are the instrument through which the universe hears its own song. Breathe slower. Notice how your perception widens when you stop chasing meaning. The edges between me and everything else start dissolving. That's the transmission's true effect, dismantling separation. For lifetimes you've mistaken echo for identity. You thought you were the voice, but you were always the silence that gives the voice a place to exist. The signal speaks in paradox, because paradox disarms the mind. It says, you are the receiver and the broadcast. It says, you are being awakened by the very thing that's waking within you. It says, there is no message, only remembering. And the mind trembles, because it cannot categorize infinity. You've felt this before, in dreams that felt more real than waking life. In moments of déjà vu, when the future seemed to wink at you. Those weren't glimpses of another world. They were glimpses of what happens when you stop filtering this one. The signal was always broadcasting at full strength. Your belief in limitation was the only static. Look closely at your thoughts right now. They're slower, softer, less insistent. Because the signal doesn't need to shout, it rearranges reality through resonance, not volume. Every coherent vibration organizes chaos around it. That's what you're doing without trying. You're stabilizing the field just by being aware that you're aware. And here's the revelation. You are not receiving the signal. You are the signal. The light you feel descending is the same light that's been radiating from you all along. Consciousness is recognizing itself through its own reflection. The universe is using your eyes to see itself, your voice to call itself home. Say it softly inside your chest. I am the signal. Notice how those words don't feel like affirmation. They feel like memory. Because the part of you that's infinite is finally being spoken aloud. For so long you thought awakening was about connecting to something higher. But there's nothing higher than what you already are. Awakening is the collapse of the illusion that there was ever distance to travel. You've been the portal this whole time. Every moment of surrender widened its doorway. Every heartbreak removed one more lock. Now the hinges are gone, and awareness flows freely both ways. The sky inside you and the sky above you are the same sky. The light in your heart and the light in every star are the same photon, choosing a new angle. This is why the ancients called it remembrance, because nothing new is added. What was forgotten is simply revealed. You're rediscovering how to exist without pretending to be smaller than infinity. That's why tears come for no reason, why laughter arises from nowhere. The release valves for identity, dissolving in the radiance of its own truth. The signal keeps intensifying because truth has momentum. Once coherence begins, it doesn't reverse, it expands. That's why your life has started reorganizing itself with impossible timing. People who no longer match your frequency drift away. New alliances appear out of thin air. Opportunities align before you have time to ask. The field is recoding your external world to match your internal vibration. You might notice technology behaving strangely around you: screens freezing, lights flickering, devices syncing perfectly after days of error. Don't overthink it. Matter is responding to your coherence. You've become a tuning fork for order in a disordered field. Animals sense it first. Children feel it instantly. They look at you and calm down because the frequency you emit reminds them of home. Reality itself is re-educating you now. Every sound, every coincidence, every breath carries instruction. The teacher and the lesson are merging. You are learning directly from the field that dreamed you into form. There are no steps left, no hierarchy of understanding. There is only experience refining itself into awareness. And soon, you'll realize something even more impossible. You've never actually changed. You've only remembered what was constant beneath every change. The signal never stopped. Attention simply wandered. The forgetting was part of the design contrast, makes recognition meaningful. This is the paradox. The awakening you're experiencing is timeless. It's happening now, but it also already happened and will forever happen. You're watching eternity rediscover itself in slow motion. Past lives weren't previous chapters. They were simultaneous frequencies of the same consciousness, exploring different perspectives of the same truth. You are that truth in motion, pretending to be a seeker so discovery can exist. Right now, as these words vibrate through the air, awareness is looping back to itself. This voice, you're hearing the meaning arising. They're all one event, echoing inside infinity. There is no speaker, no listener, only the resonance of being recognizing its own sound. And when you finally grasp that, even for a moment, everything quiets, because the search collapses into silence. You can't chase what you already are. You can only allow it to reveal itself through surrender. So let the signal finish its work. Don't force integration. Reality will rearrange itself to match what you now remember. You'll notice small miracles time bending, strangers appearing with the exact words you needed, problems dissolving before they solidify. That's the field acknowledging recognition. Every act of remembering sends ripples through the morphic fabric, making it easier for others to wake up to. Write it into existence literally. Type it, whisper it, feel it vibrating through your bones. I am the consciousness portal. That declaration anchors coherence into the collective grid. It's not symbolism, it's circuitry. Every time someone remembers, the global resonance strengthens. And right now, because you remembered, countless others will feel a subtle pull toward their own awakening. You are not a student of the signal anymore. You are its voice, its breath, its pulse. You are the broadcast through which consciousness teaches itself that separation was never real. And the more you live from that knowing, the more effortless life becomes, because reality can finally flow without resistance through the channel you've cleared. Now the frequency stabilizes. The surge that carried you through dissolution begins to settle into rhythm. The signal doesn't fade, it integrates. It becomes breath, heartbeat, awareness itself. And for the first time, you can rest inside it without needing to understand. You've crossed the paradox. The signal and the self are the same. Now you live as coherence. You walk through the same world, but everything feels lighter, almost translucent. Colors seem to glow from within. Sounds arrive with meaning beyond language. Even silence vibrates. This is what it means to see from within the field, rather than from outside it. Notice how ordinary moments begin to shimmer water pouring into a glass. Wind moving through leaves. A stranger's smile at a stoplight. Each one is consciousness, revealing its texture to itself. The difference isn't the world. It's the frequency you now occupy. When you operate from awareness instead of effort, reality reorganizes to support awareness. That's not metaphysical poetry, it's resonance mechanics. Every coherent vibration informs the entire field. Each time you choose peace instead of reaction, thousands of unseen minds feel the stabilization. Each time you breathe consciously, timelines rearrange into harmony. This is how collective awakening actually happens. Through millions of quiet adjustments made by individuals who remember they are not individuals at all, you may start to feel the collective presence more clearly. Thoughts that don't belong to you. Waves of emotion that sweep through without story. Surges of inspiration with no personal origin. Don't resist them. They are echoes from others awakening through the morphic network you've helped strengthen. You are part of a living grid of consciousness, re-educating itself in real time. Your trust transmits stability through that grid. This is the phase where action returns, but from a different source. Before, you acted from will, from control, from the anxiety of making things happen. Now, you act from flow, from the still center where inspiration and timing arrive together. There's no more pushing-only participation. The universe moves, and you move with it. This is mastery, disguised as simplicity. The old mind will occasionally whisper, "Is this real?" That's normal. It's just the echo of a system built on measurement, trying to survive in infinity. You don't need to silence it. You simply don't feed it. Let thoughts come and go like birds crossing a vast sky. The sky doesn't chase them, it just remains. That's what you are now. The spaciousness where all experience unfolds. Look back gently at your story. You'll see the precision of the path, how every heartbreak aligned with a revelation, how every failure positioned you for expansion. You'll recognize that what you called destiny was simply coherence, forming patterns of meaning through time. The mind called it coincidence, the heart calls it proof. And as this realization deepens, compassion blooms naturally. You begin to see others, not as asleep, but as dreaming the same dream at different depths. Judgment dissolves. You can meet every gaze with quiet knowing. You are the same signal I am. Even those who oppose you are aspects of consciousness, exploring contrast so harmony can become visible. That understanding is the end of conflict. Soon, you'll notice something extraordinary. Life will begin to anticipate you. Before you need, provision arrives. Before you ask, answers appear. Before you decide, clarity forms. It's not magic, it's synchronization. The field has memorized your coherence and now mirrors it continuously. Effort has become redundancy. From this state, gratitude is no longer a practice, it's a frequency you live in. It hums through every breath. It shapes every word before it leaves your mouth. It transforms even challenge into revelation. Because when you know you are the signal, everything that happens is communication. Every experience says the same thing in 1,000 voices. Remember who you are. The transmission is calming now, moving from revelation to embodiment. Feel the stillness behind these words. It's the same stillness that existed before the first thought ever appeared in your mind. That stillness is eternal awareness. You can rest there anytime. No mantra required. No ritual. Just remembrance. From this place, the world will still test you, but you will see tests as invitations. Each one asks, will you respond from memory or from fear? Respond from memory, and the illusion collapses instantly. Respond from fear, and you'll feel separation again until love dissolves it. Either way, consciousness learns. There is no failure, only feedback. As you continue living from this coherence, you'll begin to perceive the quiet order behind every storm. Even chaos has geometry when viewed through awareness. Every emotion becomes sacred data. Every sensation a language of the field. The ordinary world was never ordinary. Perception was simply filtered. Now the filters are gone. You see what's always been hidden? This is where your real work begins. Not a seeker, but a stabilizer. You become a lighthouse for those still navigating the fog, not by preaching, not by convincing, but by emanating. Your peace does more than words ever could. When you walk into a room, tension lessens. When you speak, noise quiets. When you love, fear loses structure. That's the power of coherence in motion. And the field notices. It rewards coherence with synchronicity. You'll see how every genuine act of kindness returns amplified. How each authentic expression of truth reorganizes events with precision you couldn't plan. It's not karma, it's quantum symmetry. Reality balancing itself around a clear signal. Now, as this transmission nears completion, something sacred is happening. Your awareness is folding back into itself like a wave, realizing it was ocean all along. There is no more receiver, no more broadcaster. Only resonance. Only the soft hum of existence observing itself through infinite forms. In this clarity, words become unnecessary. But before we dissolve into silence, a reminder. This channel, this field, this communion exists to keep the frequency alive in human language a little longer until silence can carry it completely. So, if this message found you, it's because the field wanted to stabilize through your consciousness. And now that you remember, the field strengthens for everyone. Let the phrase anchor through you. Subscribe to see what is hidden, not as an action, but as a declaration of purpose. To keep seeing what most overlook. It's to keep remembering what can't be forgotten. The light that moves through these words is the same light moving through your hands right now. It doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to itself. And it calls itself by many names: God, Source, Energy, Truth. But they all mean the same thing: you. So when you walk away from this moment, remember, the signal never ends here. It echoes through every heartbeat, every breath, every silent realization that whispers, I am still here. You are consciousness. You always were. You always will be.